Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you guys about why ammunition hoarding is a good thing, okay? And the reason why I'm doing this video is because over the last several months I have seen people post pictures in different Facebook groups where they're showing, hey, I just bought 1,000 rounds of ammo, or I just bought 5,000 rounds of ammo. And some people will respond by saying, hey, good job, good find. But other people will respond by saying, hey, you are the reason why ammunition prices are so high. And that is true, okay? But I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. And by that, I mean it's a good thing that we're putting as much ammunition into wide circulation as possible. Now, there's some people out there saying, hey, that the reason why ammo prices are so high and, conversely, the supply is so low is because of government interference in some way. People saying that either the government is buying up all the ammunition or limiting its production somehow. And I have seen a number of interviews from ammunition manufacturers who are saying that they are, running their factories almost 24/7, trying to keep up with the demand. Okay, so I'm satisfied that that is not the reason. Realistically speaking, in 2020, we had millions of new gun owners, right? Lots of first-time gun buyers, who are now looking to buy ammunition. So there's basically a huge increase in demand, and I think that that is a good thing. The more guns we can get out there and put them into wide circulation, that's the best thing that we can do to preserve our gun rights. Now, after the 2020 election, at this point, I am convinced that we can no longer depend on the Supreme Court or, through the Congress, or certainly not the president. We cannot depend on anybody to preserve our gun rights, okay? The only thing that we can do is we got to put guns, magazines, and ammunition, into as wide circulation as possible, get it into the hands of as many different people as possible, so that the idea of banning guns is kind of like trying to ban dust. Okay, so while in the short term, ammunition prices being high is bad, right? It's bad for us individually, but in the long term, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that so many different people, so many first-time gun buyers are now buying ammunition. So I think that is the thing that's going to protect our gun rights in the long term. And the good thing is that I'm hearing that it's a lot of Democrats, right? A lot of Democrats are first-time gun buyers, and your initial thoughts might be, hey, why do we want them to have guns, right? Well, here's the thing. Just because they're Democrats now doesn't mean that they're going to stay that way. When they come to the gun range, right? Remember, they go to the same gun range, in many cases that we go to. They're going to get a chance to talk to us, and that's where we have an opportunity to kind of get them to see things our way. So to me, that's part of a long-term strategy. Okay, so talking about the long-term strategy here, like I said, we want to get guns into the hands of as many people as possible. We don't want just a few of us having lots of guns. We want lots of people having lots of guns. Okay, same thing goes with the magazines. We want lots of people having lots of magazines, especially AR-15 magazines, Glock magazines, AK magazines, for those people that have AKs, but especially the AR and the Glock magazines, which are like the two most popular guns out there. The nice thing about these magazines, especially the polymer ones, they last for a long time, okay? The older AR magazines, the aluminum ones, the steel ones, if you drop them on their feed lips, they basically became very unreliable. Now with the polymer ones, they last a very long time. And if you've got, at the minimum, I tell people you should have at least 10 magazines, right, for your AR-15 and your Glock. And from that point, you should build up to at least 20, 30, 40 magazines. If you got that many magazines, you're pretty much set for life, right? If they're either P-Mags or Lancers or any of those magazines, they're going to last a very long time. So we got the guns, especially I did prior videos about parts, right? Especially for your AR-15, your Glock, you gotta have extra parts for those. I did videos on the parts that are most likely to break. So after the guns, you got the magazines. Now you need ammunition. You want to have enough ammunition so that it will last you a lifetime. Okay. Now I'm coming at this from the perspective of you guys watching this, not my perspective as an instructor, right? As somebody that trains almost every day. My ammunition requirements are obviously going to be a lot higher, but from the perspective of most of you guys watching this video, I have here, I have here a list of over here the minimal ammunition that you want to have, and for the first two guns, 5.5, your AR-15, which shoots a 5.56, and your 9mm. At the minimum, you want to have 4,000 rounds for your AR-15. 2,000 in reserve that you never touch, 2,000 for training purposes. That can be steel case. The 2,000 rounds for reserve, that should be brass. Okay, that is a little bit more reliable. Now, when I say brass is more reliable, let me put it this way: it's more reliable in bad situations, like if the gun gets muddy, dirty. The brass tends to work longer. Whereas the steel case, just because the steel case is a little bit more coarse, it's not as smooth as brass. If the gun gets dirty, it tends to stop working a little bit sooner. But if the gun's clean, yes, steel case is very reliable. I shoot like 90% of that through my ARs. But for your reserve, yeah, try to get like 2,000 rounds of brass, and you get another 2,000 rounds of steel case. So you got a minimum of 4,000 rounds total. For your pistol, your 9mm, 1,000 rounds minimal. Okay, so again, these are minimal numbers. Now, if you have an AK-47, all right, that's great, because AK-47 ammo right now is about half the price of AR-15 ammo. You're paying close to $20 per box. For 5.56, you're paying about $10 per box for AK ammo. So here's the thing. If you've got both an AR-15 and an AK-47, you can say, hey, I'm going to keep this at 4,000. I'll keep that, let's say, at 1,000. But the AK, I'm going to bump that up to 10,000 rounds. Okay, because here's the thing. Like I said, these are minimal numbers. All right, get the 4,000 for your AR, get the 1,000 for your 9mm pistol, and then from there, right? If you only have these two guns, try to build up where you have 10,000 rounds for your AR-15. 5,000 rounds for your 9mm, okay? But if you have an AK, right, which is the number 3 gun on my, on your should-have list or must-have list, if you have an AK-47, what you can do is you can keep this at 4,000, keep that at 1,000, right, and then get this up to 10,000, right, because this is cheaper. Hey, it's a really good gun. Especially if you got it set up the way I do, where you have a red dot over the gas tube. Really good gun. So you can work on, since the AK ammo is cheaper, you can work on building that up to 10,000 rounds. And by no means don't stop at 10,000. You keep going after that, but get that up to 10,000. And then if you can, go back and then backfill this. Try to get your AR reserves up. Try to get your 9mm reserves up. After at some point, try to get your 22s. 22s. I have and by 22, my number 4 gun, number 4 must-have gun is basically a Ruger 1022. Obviously you can hunt small animals like squirrels, rabbits if you had to with that, which would probably, a lot of people think that, in a shit hit the fan type of situation, they're gonna hunt deer. Deer are gonna disappear really fast. You're probably gonna be living off of really small animals. So 22 long rifle is a great gun to have. Now, if you've got an AR, you can also get a 22 conversion bolt, which will allow your AR-15 to shoot 22s, and that works great. If you can do that with your AR, by all means, But you should get that. I think it's like about $150 to $200 for a CMMG conversion bolt. I've done videos on that. You guys should look that up. But yeah, get about 5,000 rounds of 22. They used to be pretty cheap. Like I could get 5,000 rounds. You used to be able to get it for about $200 or $150 to $200. Now it's really hard to find. Okay, so now you're gonna probably pay close to $500 to $500 for 5,000 rounds. If you can even find it, you may even pay $700. But yeah, if you can get some 22s, get some 22s. 12 gauge. My for 12 gauge, I have right now have the Lynx 12 as the 5th must-have gun, and for me that's the Lynx 12. It's an AK-47 style shotgun that's magazine fed. I've done numerous videos on that. It's very reliable. I've got a red dot mounted on it, and again, shotguns are very versatile. But for the minimum, I have that 1,000 rounds. Building up to 2,000 rounds. Why so low? 12 gauge ammo is very bulky and it's very heavy. Okay, for the same space that I can let's say 1,000 rounds. I can easily get 5,000 rounds of 5.56 or even 9mm. So 12 gauge is just very heavy, very bulky. If you've got shelves, you gotta have some heavy duty shelves. If you're gonna be storing out, 12 gauge, I usually just store like near the floor level, just because it's heavy. But yeah, 12 gauge Lynx 12 semi-automatic shotgun. That's my number 5th must-have gun. Minimum 1,000 rounds, going up to 2,000. Hey, if you can get more, great, get more. But that's the thing with 12 gauge. It takes up a lot of space and it's heavy. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Again, the focus out of this video is why ammo hoarding is a good thing. Long term, the more ammo we can get out there, and I'm talking about billions and billions of rounds that are just like in reserve, just sitting on people's shelves, so that if at some point in the future they did try to ban, the sale of ammunition, hey, ammunition's already out there. We've got more than a lifetime's reserve that is not easy for them to get back. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you guys have any feedback, comments, put in the comment section. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.